Smoke envelops Kabul city's streets as protests continue over a film demonstrators say insults Islam.
Let alone that this film actually turned out to be very insulting to the Muslims, very insulting to the religion of Islam and to the Prophet. So a lot of the people out there who simply do not know what's going on, they know that there is a film produced in the U.S., so for them, that's insulting, and for them, they see that the U.S. produced this film.
Let me state very clearly, and I hope it is obvious, that the United States government had absolutely nothing to do with this video.
And on this, we must agree. There is no speech that justifies mindless violence.
But this is a man who made this film, who made these films, these characterizations that are literally the worst that you could make about anybody, specifically targeting the Prophet Muhammad.
Cheesy Arabian Nights type thing. That's the whole theme that we got from it. Nothing about Muhammad or anything was mentioned on set.
Literally, before this happened, almost literally, no one had seen it. They did one screening.
In every country, there are those who find different religious beliefs threatening. In every culture, those who love freedom for themselves must ask themselves how much they're willing to tolerate freedom for others. And that is what we saw play out in the last 2 weeks. As a crude and disgusting video sparked outrage throughout the Muslim world.
Who are we? We are Muslims, and he is not. We love the Prophet, and he does not. We will always defend the Prophet, and he will not. But in our defense of the Prophet, lives have been lost. His efforts against our Prophet have caused protests, but our efforts to defend the Prophet have caused deaths. Those deaths cannot be entirely blamed on the makers of this film, because then it shows us that we have not inherited the justice and peacemaking nature of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. A woman used to throw garbage at the Prophet as he'd walk by every day, and on the day she didn't, the Prophet inquired on what happened to her. He was later informed that she was ill. Our Prophet visited her and asked her if she was okay, and her heart just melted at the kindness, and she accepted Islam upon witnessing such a beautiful character. If the Prophet displayed kindness to someone who threw garbage at him, what gives us the right to become so hostile and violent when defending his name? Anyone that insults the Prophet has tilted his head and tried spitting at the sun. I urge you, my brothers and sisters, to stop this un-Islamic and unprophetic behavior. Stop fueling the fire that already burns within the hearts of those who despise Islam. There have always been people who have opposed and disgraced Islam, and there always will be. We have to learn our mistakes and take a political and professional approach to solving such issues. I am calling for a stop to these violent demonstrations that will stain the already broken image of Islam. Stand up against evil, but do not become evil. Stand up against oppression, but do not become an oppressor. Stand up against injustice, but do not become inconsiderate. I am one of the children of this ummah, and the way I will learn the legacy of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, is by seeing my elders and fellow Muslims practice it. I am 21 years old, and like me, other youth are frustrated by what has unfolded in the past 2 weeks. Let us not be the generation that picks up the shattered pieces of the Muslim image. Let us become the generation that continues your legacy and the legacy of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, with pride, so that we will be able to look back into history and say Muslims learn from mistakes, and that we are a progressive international community. Become God conscious, for every person that has died or has been injured will become a debt on all of us on the day when we will stand in front of our Creator. Let us stop feeding the negative perceptions of some individuals and live our lives like real Muslims. People will talk, so let them talk. We should fight back through peaceful means and to promote our Prophet's beautiful teachings and educate the world on Islam instead of becoming symbols of intolerance. Allah says in the Quran, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And the servants of the Most Gracious are those who walk on the earth in humility. And when the ignorant address them, they say, peace. I would like to conclude by reminding you of the words of Ali, the companion of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. He said, put 100 learned men in front of me, and I will win every debate. But put one ignorant man in front of me, and I will always lose.
I love the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Taught me to be selfless, to put the needs of others before me.
Criticized during his time for spreading the word of Islam, but he responded with peace.
He respected the old, the young, the poor, and the rich, whether they were family, friends, or complete strangers.
He was never distant from humanity. He cried, he smiled, he loved, and he felt pain. And in his handling of those situations, he left for us the best of examples.
The strongest weapon against hateful speech is not repression. It is more speech. The voices of tolerance that rally against bigotry and blasphemy and lift up the values of understanding and mutual respect.